it's Denise with Wondubar Crafts. Today I'm going to start this new journal using my digital kit Martha and Crafty Cat's digital kits 1891 and Old Paper Volume 2. I went ahead and printed out everything that I needed. I haven't trimmed back any papers or anything yet, except for the journaling papers, because they are made smaller because they're intended to go into the journal as separate journaling spots. So, and they are backed. I haven't decided yet which papers I will use as my end papers, my tip ends. I'll figure that out later. But I did go ahead and cut out all the tags and envelopes and went ahead and distressed them. I also put in the little envelope, or the little photo or tag insert that I'm going to put inside either the inside or back cover of this journal. This is the one I made just recently, and I will link the video up here so that you can go back and see it if you haven't had a chance to look at it. So I went ahead and stored it in my little folder. I love these folders. I got them at the Dollar Tree. They were $1. They're great because it's a folder. I can keep that, and then any of my kits or anything in there, keep them all together with all the pieces and bits and bobs and everything. So I cut everything out and inked it. I may cut it down and do whatever and re-ink later, but at least it's ready to go. And then I have, so first thing I want to do is start with the cover. I am going to slow stitch this one. I'm going to do something a little different. We'll see how it comes out. I've got it pictured in my head. And you know how that goes. When you picture something in your head, it doesn't always come out exactly how you envisioned it, but you got to give it a try, right? You got to try and try again. Otherwise, we can't live and learn. So I had all that stack of fabric. I went ahead and pulled off some strips and cut some bigger pieces that I want to use. So, and then I segregated them into like the greens and tealies and the pinks here, and some of the browns, and this fabric is a Heidi Swapp Vintage Market. It's I got it at Hobby Lobby, and I really love it because it's got all that paper collage and stuff in there. So I thought that would be something I could use, integrate, and then my ticket fabric and all that wonderful stuff. So did all that prep work to do, and then I grabbed cut 2 pieces of avocado dyed fabric, just to use. It's muslin. It's a little bit heavier muslin, so I use it as my backing, and I cut it so that I would have about 1/2 inch on either side, and top and bottom maybe a little bit more. So once I slow stitch everything on the front, it'll still be able to tuck over on the back, because this is the front cover. And then I will just make my own spine. Because I'm not sure yet how thick I want it. So to me, it's if I decide to make a thicker journal, I can modify my spine instead of just using a cover that has a preset spine, because you're kind of limited that way. Plus, I've got something pictured in my head for the spine, so I don't know how it's going to work out. So if it doesn't work out, I can, makeshift another one or whatever. But what I did was, like I said, cut out 2 pieces. This particular journal covers are 5 3/4 by 9 1/4. So, like I said, I just cut a 1/2 inch on either side, and then I cut a piece to fit each of these of Wonder Under and ironed it on. This way, when I put my fabrics on here, I can kind of tack it down with the Wonder Under. It won't permanently, it will keep it in place so that when I stitch it, it'll stay in place. If that's one thing that would definitely aggravate me, is to get a journal and it somebody took the time to hand stitch it, and then over time it just falls apart and it has nothing to hold it in place. So this is just gonna, it's not heavy and it's not intended to permanently keep it there, but just to kind of tack it there in place. So with that, I've already got my covers ready. So what I want to do is work on my front cover first. So set this one aside. And what I was thinking is, what I want to kind of do is, I'm going to use those pinks and stuff on the spine. So keep those set aside. And then I kind of wanted to do, not squares, but like longer strips that are kind of frayed. And that's why I cut these in all different kinds of strips. So I'm thinking to kind of move it along from a darker to a lighter. And then I want to use the pinks in a certain way on the spine, because I think it would go better than to go lighter, darker. So, anyway. So what I want to do is I'm just going to start hacking off pieces. No rhyme or reason. On that. And then what I want to do is on the top and bottom. Now the back side can be frayed too. It doesn't really matter, but I really kind of want to fray to kind of give a ragged kind of look. Old and kind of tattered, but still not tattered that it's going to fall apart. So and this can be time consuming, is to get your cover the way you want it. I know some people, they do an amazing job with doing their own collaging with paper and stuff, or even painting their covers or doing different stuff. I like to sew, and I like to use the fabrics on my covers because it gives a different texture. So you got paper texture inside the journal, fabric textures on the outside. I like to sew, and so it's just something I love doing. So that's why I like doing it this way. Kind of like my thing. So kind of want to set it so that the fringe kind of goes on the top. And of course I want to hang this over just a little bit so that when it goes over the book plate, it covers it. So I might actually do a little bit more. And I will, in some places, I'm sure, speed this up, because doing the cover like this is always a lengthy process. So I don't want to, keep you on here 2 or 3 hours trying to do this. So I'll probably speed up some sections and make it a little more tolerable for you guys. Alright, so put that piece there. And see, I'll tuck them underneath as I go, but I probably should start lighter and go out. But yeah, I think I'll do that, but I'll leave that piece there. So I don't know if I want to go this way with it, this way. Let's take a longer piece. How's everyone doing? Everybody enjoying the weekend? It's been kind of busy for me. I really thought I'd have more time to play around in here, and just a bunch of things have come up. I always keep my scraps because you never know when you're going to use them. But yeah, so it's been just crazy. Like, things have just come up out of the blue. on the edge, so when I turn it, the fringe will kind of stick out the front like that on the book. But let me... So it'll be mostly square and rectangular pieces. And that way I can slow stitch it. I thought about doing some decorative stitching on it as well, but actually I want that to tuck up underneath there, so I don't want to cut that piece off. But I thought slow stitching is so much nicer, I think. You know, it kind of gives a... I mean, yeah, it looks great when you do some decorative stitching and stuff, but... And I will probably do some on some tags and using fabrics and stuff like that, I think, in here. But I really want the cover to be mostly hand-stitched, handmade, you know. I don't need that thing ringing going off. Let's put some brown in. I love this fabric. This I got back in the 90s. It's hand-dyed. And I think you could still get something similar like it in Joann's, but it's just the feel of this it's like a canvasy fabric, and I really like it. It's cotton, but I don't know if it just has to do with the dye that was on it. It kind of gives that canvas feel. All I'm doing is just, you know, fabric is woven in and out between one side and the other. You've the strings of the fabric all lined one way, and then they weave it in and out between the other. And all I am doing is taking a few of these strings at a time and just pulling them out. And then it gives that rugged, frayed look here. It's almost fall. And I did finish that Fickle Fall digital kit. And it is in my Etsy. And it is on sale, half off, till September 11th. And I am working on the add-on right now. I work on it at night, so alright, let's just do a bit thicker strip there. So if you don't want tags, or you want to make your own tags with the kit, you can just, you know, purchase the backgrounds, the Fickle Fall, and then I'll have the add-on, which will have tags and envelopes and flags and all kinds of goodies in it. So let me go ahead and work on this, because it might take a little bit. I'll get both sides done, and then I'll show you kind of where I'm at when I get this one done, and then, or get the covers done, and I'll come back and we'll start working on slow stitching it. Okay, I'm back. I'm almost finished covering the book ends, or the cover here, and well, it took me a few hours between a few phone calls and everything else that kind of came in. So it's probably a good thing that I shut off the camera for a bit, take care of that. So I know I said I was going to shut off the phone and not answer it, but sometimes you can't. You're a mom, you know. So alright, so that is what I got so far. I put a little ribbon on this one. I'm just trying to think here. Let's see. I think I'll put the ribbon down here. So essentially, yeah, that is what I want to do. Of course, once I get it hand sewn, then I'll work on decorating some more and putting some other things on there. Just put a little fancy, it's kind of like a sheer ribbon, kind of like it, so I thought I'd stick it on there. Give it something a little different than just frayed fabric. Frayed fabric. That's a hard one to say. Alright. Actually, I think I want it, because this will be the, when they meet together, it'll be like this. So, yeah. Okay. And then I will be ready to throw an iron over the top of it. And let's see. Yeah, we're close to about the same place. There is that. Yeah, let's see. There we go. Pull one more thread out of that. There we go. Just like that. So there's where the book cover is going to look like. So, I guess what I need to determine before I iron it is what color thread I want to use on it. I would just do this. Sometimes it's easier to fussle through. Okay. I kind of like that blue. So if we went from that, I don't know, that might be a little dark. Maybe I should just, instead of doing all different colors, is just stick with like a neutral. I think that would probably be best. Gosh, decisions. I mean, at least with the neutral colors, you know, it'll still go through. I think it'll blend a little better with this color, I think, than if I went with a darker. I know there's enough of this too left, so. Alright, we'll go with that color. Well, I sleeve stitch them. So, I will be back again. Hey, so I got everything ironed on, or tacked down. So as you can see, it's still kind of up. It's just tacking it down just slightly so that I can, it'll stay in place and not shift on me. I won't poke myself with all those all those sewing needles in there, those pins. And I went ahead and decided on this neutral color. I think it'll be the best color. It'll come through really good on the darker. You'll really see it, and then it'll kind of blend in on the lighter, I think. You'll still be able to see it, just Won't be as prominent, but that's okay. And so what I did was I measured it a little longer than the actual cover itself, and then I peeled it apart in this DMC thread comes in 6. There's 6 threads in it, so I peeled out two at a time, so I have 2 threads here. So essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to knot my end. And I want to leave it about, so the knot is about half an inch. So then I'll just trim the end off there. And I'm sure you guys, if you've watched my other videos, you've seen me slow stitch. And I will speed this. Actually, I'll probably just do a few just to show you how it's done, and then I'll finish up and come back on and show you what it looks like when it's done. I haven't decided if I'm going to do just a straight up and down and then like a crisscross pattern yet. I don't know. I'll get going on it and see what happens. So what I like to do is use my cutting board or my cutting mat. That way, because it's got a grid on it, I'll be able to kind of keep my stitches straight. So I want to do it on the very edge here, and I just make big stitches. That's it, all it is. And you can, you know, pick it up and move it. Just want to try and keep it as straight as possible. It is very therapeutic. It is a little time consuming, but it's fun. I think it's going to look lovely when it's finished. And then I just want to come up on the top. It'll be a shorter stitch. Make myself a little knot. Oop. And it doesn't have to go exactly to the fabric, because if it's a little bit loose, oop, let me get my fringe caught in there. Come out there. Then it has room to shift back and forth, you know. And then I'll just cut it about 1/2 inch tail, and I'm ready for, I should have enough, well maybe not. Yeah, it's going to be a little short. I'll set that piece aside. And you can do it 1/2 inch increments, however you like it. I want to do mine a little 1/2 inch increments all the way down. I sometimes just like to, like I said, I'll lay it across. I kind of get a guide of what I'm going through. Get it through the hole. Maybe. You guys are probably laughing at me. Oh my goodness. You can't see that big old hole there, Denise? There it is. Told you. Okay, so I want to come down. So I'm going to back my stitch a little bit. Come out right about there. There we go. And I think that'll hold down that panel piece a little better. Am I not talking loud enough? Probably in my whisper mode again. I'm telling you. I think it's because I think I talk too loud already. And so I'm so worried I'm going to blow you guys' eardrums out. So, I don't know. I think I just started talking lighter to keep myself from blowing anybody's eardrums out. Because I can be quite loud sometimes, if you can believe that. It is a little time consuming, but well worth it in the end. Let's see. It's kind of like writing. I have to flip my everything around from here to there to here to there. Because I can't hold a piece of paper straight when I write. I don't know why, but I always have to, because I write like this, like at an angle. That's probably why I can't write straight either. I'll write 1 or 2 lines and then it gets all crooked. But I have never been able to take a piece of paper and write like that. I just can't. I can't do it. Can't do it. My son is downstairs watching some paranormal show. I like watching them sometimes. Some of it's kind of freaky though. But I guess it's getting to be that time of year where, you know, everybody wants to watch that spooky stuff and get ready for Halloween and stuff, so. It's like, you know, when you do those tasks and you notice somebody that sticks their tongue out when they're doing it, or, you know, they make those, that's me. That is so me. I'll make the weirdest faces. Back that just a little. There we go. Alright. Make a knot. Put in. Double it up. Go on to the next one. Yes, I know. It's probably been like 20 minutes or something like that. I only got 2 lines done, and what are you kidding? Are you crazy, Denise? That's just a lot of time. It is. It is time consuming. However, the results that you get, it's well worth it. If anything, you should at least try slow stitching at least once. Maybe not on a project this big, or do something like maybe a small piece of fabric and, you know, put little strips or something in there and just try it. I mean, you can always use it to back a tag or something, you know. So let me shut off for a little bit, try and get this panel done. I'll show you what the panel looks like when I'm done with that, and then I'll finish up the rest of it and we'll go from there. So I'll be right back. Hi everyone, I am back. I finished up pretty late last night. I had to take some out and redo it, and I think it was just because I was so tired. My eyes were, I was thinking I was sewing straight, and then when I laid it out, it was all over the place. So I ended up redoing a few lines. So I just decided to finish up, and then I'd finish up the video today. So it is actually Monday today. Hope everyone is having a great Labor Day. This is the finished, well, it's not quite finished, but I've finished the slow stitch part on the cover. So this is the front and this is the back. And I have a suggestion for anyone who is never done it or has not done it a lot and struggles with trying to get their stitches correct. Remember I had said earlier in the video that I typically try to line mine up so that, you know, my stitches are aligned with the grid, and I've done it quite enough that I can kind of lay the thread and know where it has to go, and I can eyeball it for the most part, except for last night. For some reason, it was horrible. But anyway, for those of you who don't think that, you know, you can do it in that method, I've got another suggestion for you. Take a ruler, and if you have one, or if you don't have, I would suggest getting one of these. You can get them at Walmart, at Joann's, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, wherever, in the sewing department, or any sewing store, or any store that has a sewing department should have these. And you can buy them that are just all blue. I think you can get them just purple. I like the both ended ones, but it's one with disappearing ink or mark be gone. Both will erase with water. The disappearing ink, the one thing I like about it is if you mark it over, you know, an hour or so, typically, unless you mark it really dark, it will fade and disappear. Because obviously that's what it is, right? Disappearing ink. But I like using the purple more so than the blue. For some reason, I can't get the blue to lay dark enough. But what I would suggest doing is just laying, like finding your grid, and then laying it from line to line, like so. Let me get this straight on here. And then just lay it. You can see that, you know, my stitching kind of goes a little bit off, and that's okay. You want it to kind of look natural anyway. I mean, unless you're using a sewing machine, your stitching is not going to be perfect every time. But just make yourself a line, and then just stitch down the line. And then when you're all done, you can just take like a baby wipe, and then just kind of, not one that's really heavy saturated or wet. You could take a wet paper towel as well, but I would just make it damp, not dripping wet, and then just tap over the top of it. It will get rid of the remainder of the disappearing ink. And then there you have it. Just a little suggestion if you've never done it, or you know, you've tried it and your stitches don't come out straight. That might be a way for you to do it, and it would probably be quicker for you as well, because then you can just follow the line, tie it off, mark the next line, then, you know. Well, you know. So I am ready to do a little more decorating. Some of the other stuff that I may put on here, like charms and stuff, I'll do that later. But what I want to do is, I do want to put some buttons, sew some buttons on. I don't want to glue them. And I've got some scrappy fabrics that I had left over from, you know, doing my tearing and stuff. And there was a couple pieces like the ticket there, these little pieces here, that I would like to try and integrate somewhere in here. Just as some extra texture. And I can cut some of these pieces into smaller bits, you know, if need be. I might cut that one and just use like the leaf on it. So let me see what I want to do. I think I liked this piece. I was going to save it for a tag, but I thought, no, I can always make another one for a tag. But I thought it would look kind of cute over the top of that. Or maybe that one might look better. I think that one looks better. So, and then I'll sew these on, hand sew them on. I don't want to glue them. I want to try not to do any gluing on the cover other than this to the actual cover, the book cover itself, the board. So, and this one I'm just going to do kind of like a patchy kind of stitch on it. I had a really bad storm a few weeks back, and it knocked down quite a few branches, and had those chopped all down. And then a few nights ago, was it Friday night? Thursday night, we had really heavy rain. And I think maybe what had happened was one of the branches was already kind of broken and just kind of hanging there and didn't notice it. And I think all the rain, the weight from the rain just, it took like half the tree down. So had a guy come out today to, you know, take a chainsaw and cut it all up and get rid of it. Because it was like half the tree. Just laying there. Okay, I don't want that there because that's, oh, maybe I do a little ticket. Cut that piece just a smidgen. There we go. Put that right there. I think. And I'm just going to do a few of these pieces. All right, and let's see. Something like that, maybe. Or about that one. Oh, I kind of like the bigger one. There, it kind of breaks up a little of that white over there, I think. Oh, hopefully this is not going to be too long. There's a problem if it becomes a tedious thing. And I, you know, enjoy it. It's very, very therapeutic for me. Alright. Until you can't get the needle threaded. Then you get a little frustrated. Right? Oh, goodness. Come on. Sometimes those little ends get too frayed and they don't want to go through the hole. Come on. I have to turn off the camera just to thread a needle, right? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to do that. Of course, first try after I shut off the camera, I got it. I don't know. Must be a camera thing. Or it could be because, you know, when you sit and you craft by yourself, you're not typically, unless somebody is crafting with you or you're watching TV or something, you know, you're not normally talking. So it could be that little distractor. Who knows? Or it could just be operator error, which is probably more the truth. Okay, nice little small piece here. I kind of liked it there. What do you guys think? Maybe down a little bit? Kind of like it there. I don't know. We shall see, we shall see. Okay, so we got a couple of those patches in there. I'll keep some of this. I got tons of fabric, but I'll keep those little scrappies over there. And let's see, what else can we decorate with? Buttons, of course. Gotta have buttons, my goodness. I like that pink button. Big wood button. A couple of them, actually. I don't know if I want my big buttons, though. I want more buttons. This is just my kind of set-aside stash. Oh, I like that color. That's brown ones. Okay, how about we just start doing this? We'll just set these aside. If we need more, we can pull them out. I kind of like this smaller, kind of off one. Let's see. Well, if we put it there, we could put a rubber band and use it as a closure for sure. But I think I would want a bigger button there. This bigger pink one. I don't know if I like the pink one there, the big one. Yeah, I think I'll do this one there. Oh, sorry. I'm going to have to measure it midway. So, that. Then you can use it as a, if we use a rubber band to closure, and then boop. But, do I want a rubber band closure? I think I originally wanted sari silk, so I like sari silk closures. And the problem with the rubber band is if it gets too thick or you fill it, it starts putting stress on that rubber band. Either the band is going to break or the button's going to pull. So I don't want to do that. No, 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 and no. So let's just do a nice little something. Actually, let's put it down here. And we'll put a couple other little doodads. Want something with a little color in it. Oh, that's not too bad. That doesn't look too bad. Let's put that one there. Yeah? What do you guys think? Alright, let me get these sewn on. I'm going to turn it off because I don't want it too long. I don't want to have to always fast forward everything either. So, I'll turn it off, put on some buttons. I'll show you guys where. Okay, I think I finished doing some outer decorating for now. I might add a little charms or something, but they'll be on bowl pins. So you can take them off or leave them there or whatever later. But for now, I think the covers are done. I added the buttons here and here, added a little sari silk bow. I had some little crocheted flowers that I got from my friend Crafty Cat, Amy, and then I was like, it's still missing, and then I remembered I had this beautiful crocheted trim that has like all these buttons and pearls and stuff on it, and I just think it's the coolest thing, and I can't get any more. I keep going back to go get more. They're out of it. They haven't gotten any more, so what I've got left is what I've got left, which isn't much, but I thought it looked kind of pretty on there, so it gave a little something, and it's a little jingly, and some different textures and stuff. So, but like I said, I think this is finished, so I think I'll finish this video. Next time, I'm not going to work on the spine just yet. I want to get my signatures done first before I work on the spine, so I know exactly how wide to make my signature, because I don't want it to be too, I don't want it to alligator out too much if I set my spine at a certain measurement. So I typically like to do that last, or one of the last few things that I do. So the next video, I think I'm going to work a little bit. I'm going to glue these onto the backboards off camera. I'll show them in the next video, and then I'm going to work on signatures for this journal. So until next time, guys, plenty of hugs, love, and blessings. Bye-bye.